24th at the Liberty First Credit Union Arena. Visit LOVB.com for more information and to purchase tickets. Volleyball is the next major league.
Hi, this is State Senator Carolyn Bosson. Education is a cornerstone for strong, vibrant communities. I voted for the largest investment in education in Nebraska history. As a state senator, wife, and mom, I believe Nebraska is a great place to work and raise a family. My husband Reggie and I are local family business owners and understand the valuable role of education in growing our community. This is Carolyn Bosson, and I will continue to support education in the legislature. Vote Carolyn Bosson on November 5th. Paid for by Bosson for Legislature.
If you're in Seward or Milford, listen up. Select Plumbing is now servicing your area with no trip charges from Lincoln. Select Plumbing works on a variety of issues for your home and business, including general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate, 402-560-6197. It's not just Lincoln, Waverly, and the surrounding area anymore. It's also Seward and Milford with no trip charges. Contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197.
Urology Partners of Nebraska is Lincoln's newest full-service urology group. Urology Partners uses state-of-the-art treatment options for both men and women, including some exciting treatments new to our community that help you get back to your confident and active lifestyle. The team at Urology Partners is dedicated to quickly and effectively restoring your health, with new patients typically seen in clinic within 48 hours. Whether you have questions about your prostate, incontinence issues, kidney stones, or erectile dysfunction, their team has you covered. Call Urology Partners today to schedule an appointment.
This is the Adam Carrikers Show.
Position right of the quarterback, out of the shotgun, 1st and 20. Jailbreak screen in the air. It is tipped. It is intercepted by Carriker at the Missouri 21-yard line.
Live from the heart of Lincoln, America, 8-year NFL vet and All-American defensive lineman Adam Carriker.
Shotgun snap to Everett. He's got the left arm going, and now he's got a whole lot of Adam Carriker, who rips him down inside the 25-yard line.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Here is your host, Adam Carriker.
Welcome, everybody, into the Adam Carriker Show here on 93.7 The Ticket. As always, noon to 1 p.m. Central Time. Come join yours truly. We're going to share with you some unique insight, unbridled honesty, and producer Jake and I are going to have a whole lot of fun in the process. As always, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, 4 days a week from noon to 1 p.m. Central Time. Grab your lunch. Come join us. And we'll chat Husker football, Husker sports, sports in general, college football, and the like. You never know when something new is going to happen. Something different is going to happen. Today, the last segment. We have dubbed the last segment of every show the People segment. Going forward, we're going to do something unique today. And I don't know what the topics are. I even tried to grill Jake, didn't I, Jake?
Yeah, but I'm not letting you Google what this topic is.
I didn't try to grill you. I just basically said, I should explain what it is. CARRIKERS Trivia Challenge. So basically, we want people to call in, and we're going to bring one person live on air. Jake has produced some trivia questions, and we're going to see if you can beat me in a trivia challenge, CARRIKERS Trivia Challenge. So call in, and it's going to be, we'll do it about 12:50. All right. What number do they call in, Jake?
It'll be same number, 402-464-5685.
All right. Make sure you call in, ladies and gentlemen. See if you can beat yours truly in CARRIKERS Trivia Challenge, the first one ever. I was like, Jake, is it at least sports? It's not like Broadway. If it's Broadway, it's going to get ugly for me quick. He goes, no, it's topical. I may have made a couple of Marcus Satterfield jokes after that, but he said, yes, it's topical. So call that number, the last segment, 12:50, first ever CARRIKERS Trivia Challenge. See if you can stump yours truly. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Until then, the first segment is going to be Nebraska's got nothing to lose. Like they really do. All right. Segment 2 of this show, all right, which is brought to you by our good friends at Mulberry Barbecue, is going to be kind of a projection of the college football playoff and what they would look like currently. But I've also got a bunch of unique and interesting random stats. Like I didn't organize them very well. I just kind of collected them all. But there's a lot of unique, interesting stats, like the fact that Georgia started inside of Texas's 34-yard line for 4 of their first 5 drives last Saturday. what the typical score of the college football game is right now, and it's actually not that close. It's about a 20-point margin, 20-point margin in difference between the winning team and the losing team on average. Just a whole bunch of random stuff that I've come across. All right, but the first thing I want to talk about here, it's been a while. It's been a while, and we were actually trying to recall the last time there was, how do I put this nicely? No pressure on the Huskers tomorrow. Literally no pressure. When's the last time Nebraska had, the expectations haven't been this low for a game in a long time. I couldn't even say it nice. It just is what it is. But that's also, there's the potential, okay, to shock the world, okay, and everyone's going to want to punch me through the radio waves of the internet for just putting that out there in the universe. All right, I'm not predicting that. I am taking Ohio State to win. I'm going to take Nebraska to cover. I believe the point spread is still 25. So my prediction for Ohio State, Nebraska is Ohio State 38, Nebraska 14, which is a 24-point differential. So technically they would cover. But there's an opportunity for Nebraska, and I will say you never know what's going to happen. Vanderbilt did beat Alabama, but Vanderbilt's a ranked team now. They're not typical Vanderbilt. All right, just as an example, they're one of two lost teams that are ranked right now. When you look at Ole Miss, which is a top 20 team, and then Vanderbilt has 2 losses, they're in the top 25, which is just interesting to me. But when you think about this Ohio State game, it's been a long time since expectations have unfortunately been this low going into a football game on Saturday. Jake and I were kind of chatting about it. When's the last time you could think of a similar feeling from a fan base going into a Husker game, Jake?
Well, obviously, a lot of situations are different, so it's hard to kind of think. But there's been pressure, I think, on all these games over the last several years. I will say this, 2021, of course, the best 3-9 team of all time. I did get into that game, Nebraska-Ohio State, and then they made it again. Nebraska only lost by 9. I got into that game for $10, an Ohio State-Nebraska game. So,
Did you make some money?
Huh?
Did you make some money?
No, I just bought it off the secondary website for $10. So that was I maybe could have bought more and tried to sell them, but that was my point. Is I think the hope on that day was pretty darn low. So I could probably go there. Maybe 2017 Ohio State. Remember by then Mike Riley was fired. They ended up losing 56-14. Definitely not a whole lot of hope going into that game. So again, you got to go with it. I think maybe an Ohio State type. We talked about earlier before the show. You know, I was going to ask you in your career but you know, your teams were too good. The only thing I could think of is maybe Oklahoma in the Bill Callahan year, but there's just in his first year, there's just not a whole lot of situations like this for Nebraska. And my goodness, I hope there's not a whole lot more to come.
I'm with you. And it's interesting because you did bring that game up to me before the show. I remember going into that game, and I don't remember thinking no hope or anything. I guess as a player, you view it differently. You view like you can win every game. And maybe the fan base felt differently that day, but I didn't feel like it that way. The final score is obviously 30-3, and we took, all 3 timeouts to try to kick the field goal to preserve the not being shutout streak, which is still going to this day.
Right.
Shout out to Bill Callahan for using timeouts to kick a field goal and keep that streak going. All right, but that's also the game that afterwards Bo Pelini yelled at Bill Callahan, "You got my job," which was interesting because then Bo Pelini obviously came here, et cetera, et cetera. I don't know. Had you ever heard that before?
I've not heard that before. I love to hear that.
I was walking off the field and heard some loudness, and it was a good old Bo, and those were the words I heard anyways. I was a little unhappy with the outcome of the game, but that's how I heard it anyways, but I digress. So when you're looking at this from Nebraska's perspective, in the offseason, Matt Rule talked about, okay, if you transport back to the offseason, and I'll kind of bring this back around to looking at this game currently from Nebraska's perspective as they head to Columbus. But if you go back to the offseason, Matt Rule talked about how they were better during the week than they were on Saturdays. He flat out said the team that showed up on Saturdays was not the same team as far as execution and playing well and practicing well. They did not take that. They did not transition it well to Saturdays, to the actual game day. And he mentioned that a lot of that has to do with guys basically, and I can kind of relate to this, okay, guys kind of being afraid to mess up, and then all of a sudden you're trending on Twitter or you're trending here or there, and then the highlights played for the world to see. And I think if you're a fan, maybe that sounds really, really dumb potentially. But if you haven't been in that person's shoes, I get it. I mean, there were plays, especially in my NFL career. Hey, I make a really good play, and all of a sudden, hey, that I've seen them on ESPN. I've seen bad plays that I was a part of on ESPN too. And then all of a sudden, you got some analyst on Sunday morning while I'm eating, getting ready for the next game, playing a play from the previous game. And yeah, it's a good play that I liked and it went really well. And I'm like, yeah, keep replaying that. But all of a sudden, I remember one against Leonard Davis, who was listed at 340, which was lies. He was like 440, but I think he was realistically 380, 390 a guard. He hooked me on his own block, and they ended up creasing it for a big run. And he just kept replaying that stupid play over and over. And I was like, oh my God, can you take it off? I could only imagine if there was like Twitter or Facebook back then, what that would have been like. Okay, so I can relate to a degree. Now, it's also part of it. It's part of the game. We had Dave Kennedy on earlier this week, my former strength coach in Nebraska. And I was a redshirt freshman. I was pretty much homesick my entire redshirt fall semester. And then I finally got to go home, spend some time with the fam. And I came back to Lincoln and I never looked back. I was never homesick again. Enjoyed going home for spring break, summer break, whenever the bowl game was over, back when we went to those year after year. But I was always ready to come back to Nebraska, ready to put the pads on, ready to hit the weight room, ready to do whatever was next on the docket based on what time of year it was. But there was a particular day in spring ball, my first ever spring practice, all right? And it was a Saturday, and I was beat up. I was with the 2 defense, and I was going against the ones every single day because one offense went against 2D, 1D went against 2 offense. In large part, not always. Sometimes 1 versus 1s would happen. In practice, the particular guy I was going against was Richie. And, man, we were just going to war every day, between the whistles, after the whistles, because, that's just how it was. And so this was a particular Saturday. It was a scrimmage. I had a bunch of friends. It was late in the spring who were going to a lake. And they were going to do things you do at a lake on a boat and have fun. And here I was getting ready to take on double teams. And I was a young man who hadn't quite matured. And I was still learning how this thing worked. And I did not have the best attitude. And we're in stretch lines. I didn't say a thing to anyone. I didn't say a word to anyone. And I just talked yesterday about how you could never question my effort. My hand went in the dirt. You could never question my effort. I didn't always feel like it. Most of the time I did. Probably 95% of the time I felt like it. But there were times when you don't. All right. We are humans. And this was a particular day that I spoke about the other day. And I was still learning the difference between motivation and discipline. All right. Motivation. Some people are more motivated than others. I'm very, very motivated, very easily motivated. But motivation varies from day to day every once in a while, no matter how motivated you are, because we're humans. All right. And that's where discipline kicks in. And this was the first day I really started to learn about where discipline kicks in, because the look I had on my face in stretch lines must have just been awful. I didn't say a thing to anyone about how I felt. I was just having a hard time getting going on this particular day. I was physically beat up. My friends, it's frickin' spring and they're out doing what you do on a boat in a lake. And here I am getting ready to take on 1,000 double teams. And then after the play, is this guy going to try to hit me in the back for the 80th time? And then I got to fight him for the 90th time. And, I wasn't in a good headspace. AKA I was a human being. Dave Kennedy walks up to me, not a large man. Okay. He would be the opposite of a large man. I say that with all due respect. He just starts like he gets like 1 inch from me, looking up at me, just starts laughing. And I'm like, I just stared at him like, what are you laughing about? He goes, football's hard. It ain't for everybody. And he just walks away. That's all he said to me. And that was the moment. It was like, yeah, this is different. There are things in this world that are different. There are things in this world that are easier. There are things in this world that are harder. And that was the moment where I started to understand the difference between motivation and discipline. And if I wanted to be good, it didn't matter what my buddies were doing. It didn't matter, that I was beat up and maybe I wasn't in the best mental mindset, and I didn't sleep that good the night before. It didn't matter. None of that mattered. All that mattered was what happened when I put my hand in the dirt. We were in the stadium, so in the turf. And I'll be honest with you, I still, to this day, that I've always felt like, and I was going to share this with Coach K when we brought him on, and I forgot the other day. I always felt like that was, if not the turning point for me mentally when it came to football, that was absolutely a turning point. And I actually went out that day, and my dad, I never paid attention to the media. I never read anything. I didn't want to speak publicly back then. I just wanted to lift weights, do football, do college kid things, and stay the heck away from anything and anyone else that didn't have something to do with that. So I never knew what the media said. And my dad sent me the articles. It was my best scrimmage probably I'd ever had up to that point, absolutely, but probably my best scrimmage of the entire spring. And he sent me that, and he has kept those to this day. He's kept a lot of keepsakes. So I've actually seen them in recent years because every once in a while when they come to visit, he'll show them to me or something like, this is awesome. But I've seen these before. But my point is, like, that was the day it clicked for me. This, at the time, 40, 50-year-old man just laughing in my face, didn't even address anything, just said, football's hard, it's not for everybody, and walked away. But I knew what he meant. I knew why he said it. And it clicked for me, the difference between motivation and discipline. Where motivation drops off is where discipline kicks in. And I went out and I had my best scrimmage of that entire spring. And that's when I started to realize, yeah, this thing is hard. It's not for everybody. And if you fast forward to right now, looking ahead to Ohio State, and you think about what Rule said last offseason as well. Hey, this might get clipped. This might trend. This might go viral. And guys are a little bit nervous. When I spoke to the defense last spring, when Tony White was like, hey, can you come talk to these guys? It was an impromptu thing. I was just up in the football offices. Didn't even know I was going to see Tony. Just went to say hi to whoever the heck was there. They happened to be having a defensive team meeting or a defensive unit meeting. He's like, hey, can you come talk to him? I'm like, sure. What do you want me to talk to him about? He said, address that. The whole not worrying about what's said, not worrying about, trending or whatever. And so that's what I talked to him about. So for me, the reason I bring all that up, it's if you want to play football nowadays, it's part of the gig. They're also getting paid a whole lot more money. All right. It's part of the gig. People are going to treat you more and more like an adult because some of these kids are making more money than most adults make. That's part of the gig. They're bringing in money. They're bringing in revenue shares coming down the pike eventually in the next year or two in college sports as well. For right now, they pay kids money and call it NIL. So if I'm a current Nebraska player keep everything in mind that I just said, and I'm looking at Ohio State. Yeah, the expectations aren't too high. You know what that means? We got none to lose. Means we got none to lose. Like, people are like, oh, you lost 56-7 to Indiana. I mean, it might be worse than that to Ohio State. The point spread's 25.5. Like, oh my goodness. Like, there's probably going to be some fans who don't even want to tune in to watch. Hey, to each his own. I'm going to tune into every Husker game for the rest of my life to the day I die, whether I've got shows to talk about it or not. My twin daughter, one of my twin daughters, Desi, actually found a Husker song that I'd never heard before. I thought about playing it on the show today. I just don't know if Husker Nation's in the right mood. When Husker Nation's in the right mood, it was a rap song. It was quite catchy. All right. And I was like, man, this is pretty good. At some point, I want to play it on the station. It's got to match the vibe of the Husker fan base a little bit better than at the current moment. But that'll help if the team obviously plays better. But if I'm a Husker player, I'm looking at this game like I got nothing to lose. There's no expectations. And I'm just going to let it all hang out, lay it all out on the line. And there's nothing to lose. The only possible thing that could happen is we go out and we surprise people. What that means exactly, I don't know. What that looks like exactly, I don't know. I actually think Nebraska can keep it interesting for the first half. I actually think at least they better. I mean, my goodness, if you can't show up motivated right now, I think they're going to come out on fire, like motivation-wise. And I think they can keep it interesting for the first half. The second half, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen once the ball's kicked off. But kind of what I think is going to happen is that first half can be interesting. The second half, who knows what's going to happen there. Someone did point out to me Ohio State's coming off a bye. And the last game they played was Oregon. So they're probably still a little PO'd on their side. So that didn't make me feel better about things. But we're actually going to play 4 teams in a row: Indiana, Ohio State, USC, and UCLA. All right. UCLA's before USC. And we actually have 2 byes in there as well, but all 4 of them are coming straight off byes as we play them. So that's kind of interesting to me. Oh, man. If I'm a Nebraska player, I actually feel as free as I've ever felt to go play tomorrow. And that's how I would feel. Like, we have absolutely nothing to lose. If we lose 38-14, like that guy with that show named Adam Carriker says we're going to lose, hey, we've actually beat the spread. Not that that's success, not that that's your goal, but my point is if that's where the expectations are, just cut it loose. Just let it go. If I'm Matt Rule, if I'm Marcus Satterfield, I mean, cut loose, man. If you got some trick plays, run them. Don't be uber predictable. Just put Harbor again and then run the trick play right away. Like, please don't do that because we did that versus Illinois and I think another game as well. Like, set them up appropriately. Like Black 41 flash reverse pass. They tossed it to Thunder multiple times, and then they put the receiver in motion multiple times, and all of a sudden they toss it to Thunder. He flips it to Mike, and he tosses it to Crouch for the touchdown versus Oklahoma, number 1 versus number 2 in 2001. But they didn't just come and run it right out the gate without setting it up. They actually 3 different times ran a play that looked exactly like it before they actually ran the Mike Stunts throwback pass to Eric Crouch. So let's set it up. Let's be smart, but cut it loose. You got nothing to lose. I mean, that's honestly how I feel. And I don't know, Jake, you got anything to add to that? Did that all kind of make sense? It was a long soliloquy. I knew what I was going to say. Normally I have pages worth of notes, but I was like, you know what? I'm just going to speak from the heart on this particular subject. Did that all kind of wrap together and make at least a little bit of sense there, Jake?
Yeah, I think so. And I think that, it's not, again, obviously the position you want to be in, nothing to lose, but it is, I mean, if you're there, take advantage of it. What I'm worried about is, again, after hearing, some of the players last week, is if they get down early and they get their heads down and stuff like that. So, when you're, like you're saying, when you're playing loose and you're playing with nothing to lose, maybe if you are down 14 or nothing, you're not as worried about it, thinking, how bad are things going to be when we get back, when that's somewhat the expectation. Hopefully that's not where Nebraska finds themselves, right? But yeah, it's going to be a difficult game.
To be clear, I mean, it's crazy right now. I got fans coming at me. It's part of this gig. It's not easy. All right. If you can't handle people coming at you and you're in the media, get out of the media. If you can't handle what might potentially happen on social media and you're a player, get out of football. Football's hard. It ain't easy. It ain't for everybody. That doesn't mean it's easy, but it means it's part of the gig. Either you can deal with it or you can't. Tomorrow, just cut loose. Just cut loose. But it's interesting. I have some fans coming at me like, oh, you're just bailing on the team and this and that. By the way, not many saying that right now. What I'm going to say next is what I'm getting mostly. It's like, no, I just speak my honest truth. Okay. And then I got people who are like, oh my gosh, how are you not just calling for everybody to be fired? Sure, you're so disingenuous. You just want to keep everybody happy over at the stadium. And I'm like, have you ever listened to my show? Like, just because we have a difference of opinion doesn't mean it's disingenuous. Like, I've talked about, sometimes I go over there in years past, even now, there's some coaches that give me sideways dirty looks. And it's like, hey, bro, I'm right here. If you got something to say, let's chat man to man, but don't give me some teenage high school kid sideways dirty look, So my point is, I say what I got to say. It's my truth. I try to I use proof, facts, and evidence. I try to be as correct as I can. And then I just let the chips fall where they may. But it's interesting because I love Husker fans, and one of my favorite things is how passionate they are. And I know some folks are like, oh, it creates too much scrutiny and this and that for the team. Well, that's where I mentioned, I think Rico was in here Monday or Tuesday. I was like, well, you could have the opposite. You could have apathy. You could have USC versus Penn State, a top 10 matchup at the time, and 2 of the 15 most recognizable brands in all of college football, and the stadium's like 60% full. I would much rather have passionate fans who are responsive and engaged. Again, with respect is what I would recommend, but it's up to you. And that's why I love Husker Nation. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, we got to take a break. Don't go anywhere. Whole bunch of interesting college football random facts and stats and a way too early college football playoff projection. Also, have we had anybody inquire about the CARRIKERS Trivia Challenge yet?
Not yet. All
right, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to take me on for 5-6 minutes in a trivia challenge, call what number, Jake?
402-464-5685.
All right, call that number and let's have a whole lot of fun. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Hog Wild's giant stuffed baked potatoes are anything but basic and really hit the spot when you're craving a little comfort food. Nothing is more satisfying than a Hog Wild baked potato loaded with butter, sour cream, cheddar cheese, bacon bits, and chives. Add your choice of a Hog Wild house smoked meat like pulled pork, chicken, or brisket for a little extra. Order online at GoHogWild.com. Hog Wild Pit Barbecue, 3210 Cornhusker Highway in Lincoln.
But don't be late, we close at 8.
The McKinney's Irish Pub in the Haymarket is your place for English Premier League soccer. On Saturday, Man City plays Southampton at 9 a.m., followed by Everton playing Fulham at 11:30 a.m. On Sunday, Chelsea plays Newcastle at 9 a.m., and then Arsenal plays Liverpool at 11:30. At the top of the EPL standings, Arsenal is third, followed by Manchester City at second, while Liverpool is leading the EPL right now with a record of 7-0-1. You can catch all these matches and more at the McKinney's Irish Pub, your headquarters in Lincoln for English Premier League soccer at 8th and P.
You've seen them come and go. Franchise testosterone clinics that pop up and then whoosh, they're gone. These franchise clinics quickly find out it's not easy to compete with Limitless Male. Limitless is locally owned and operated with a flawless protocol that has elevated them to be the best in men's testosterone replacement and sexual performance. By adding GLP-1s, our patients are losing weight in a healthy way. To feel your optimal best, schedule a free consult at limitlessmale.com.
Gary Michaels Clothier's 41st anniversary sale is happening now. Our entire new fall inventory of suits, sport coats, sweaters, slacks, outerwear, footwear, all now marked up to 41% off. Don't miss your opportunity to save big on brands like Marcello, Bugatti, Jack Victor, Heritage Gold, Alberto, and Zanella. It's the Gary Michaels 41st anniversary sale going on now through November 2nd. Gary Michaels Clothier's 56th and Pine Lake, right here in Lincoln.
Are you looking for affordable drinks and a great atmosphere this football season? Highball Bar has you covered. Whether it's pregame tailgating, postgame festivities, or in-game celebrations, Highball Bar is the place to be. With $4 beers, $4 mixed drinks, and more during their 4 to 8 p.m. daily happy hour, Highball Bar will quickly become your go-to place to sit back, unwind, and be your team's #1 fan. Highball Bar, located in downtown Lincoln, just 3 blocks from Memorial Stadium at 122 North 11th Street.
Tune in to 93.7 The Ticket as soon as the clock hits 0 for the Jay Foreman postgame show. Listen to expert analysis from the Husker Hall of Famer, an 8-year NFL veteran, for 90 minutes after the game. The Jay Foreman postgame show, sponsored by Anderson Ford, Tanner's Bar and Grill, Tavern 180, Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, Vinnie Kreekak of State Farm Insurance, and Action Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Electrical on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Tailored Life is your headquarters for all things fall in Bennett. Make the short drive down Highway 2 for tons of items for your home, both indoors and outdoors. Check out their variety of potted trees, mums, and more. Plus, porch pots and landscape lighting to enhance the outside of your home. Don't forget their home goods for indoors, plus convenient drinks and snacks, most of which are produced locally. Visit Tailored Life today in Bennett and stay tuned to their Facebook page at Tailored Life 360 for food truck events coming up.
Hi, I'm State Senator Bo Ballard. I was born and raised right here in Lancaster County. I understand the value of hard work by being involved in our family business. I built my own company, creating jobs right here in our community. Nebraska families and business owners need lower taxes, more affordable health care, and a great education system. That is why I fought for the largest tax cut in Nebraska history, reduce the cost of healthcare, and help pass the biggest investment in our public schools. I'm Senator Bo Ballard, and I humbly ask for your vote on November 5th, paid for by Ballard for Nebraska.
If you're in Seward or Milford, listen up. Select Plumbing is now servicing your area with no trip charges from Lincoln. Select Plumbing works on a variety of issues for your home and business, including general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate, 402-560-6197. It's not just Lincoln, Waverly, and the surrounding area anymore. It's also Seward and Milford with no trip charges. Contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197.
All right, Rico, let's do the final checklist before we head out. We have a lot of people coming to the tailgate today.
I'm ready.
Burgers?
Check.
Chips?
Check.
Icy cold beer?
Check. Except this one.
I'm forgetting something. Wait a second. Where's the Führer's cheese spread?
I can't stop eating it.
Rico,
relax. I always pack extra. It's the biggest hit of the tailgate.
For the best appetizer, party dip, and tailgate snack, load up on Führer's cheese spread today in most local grocery stores.
Plains Cover Crop is your one-stop seed shop. Call us now for spring and summer forages, CRP mixes, and fall cover crop blends. We do farm-specific consulting for practical and efficient seed blends to fit your geography and goals. With a very diverse inventory, we will tailor a blend just for you. We're also looking for contract growers, and we buy and sell rye. Find us online at plainscovercrop.com. Timeless agronomy practices paired with modern technology. East Highway 20 in Orchard and across Nebraska.
Are you worried about storm damage causing issues with your basement? F Foundation Repair fixes basements with supreme waterproofing and exact concrete leveling for residential or commercial clients. They service wet basements, leaky walls, damp crawl spaces, bowing or cracked bricks or drywall, and more. Whether you're in Southeast Nebraska, the Tri-Cities area, or Northeast Kansas, they'll easily make the trip to you. Get a free evaluation today by visiting WeFixBasements.com or call 402-804-1024. F Foundation Repair. We fix basements.
League One Volleyball is coming to Omaha this January. Featuring Olympic medalist Jordan Larson and Justine Wong-Arantes, Love Omaha Volleyball is Omaha's newest pro team. The inaugural season will showcase some of the world's best volleyball players, from medalists to NCAA champions and international superstars, with the action kicking off on January 24th at the Liberty First Credit Union Arena. Visit LOVB.com for more information and to purchase tickets. Volleyball is the next major league.
This is the Adam Carrikers Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Adam Carrikers Show here on 93.7 The Ticket. We are going to be doing Carrikers Trivia Challenge now. The People segment, it's going to be happening now. But before we bring on, we'll see if he's a worthy challenger. But before we bring on our so-called worthy challenger, this segment of the Adam Carrikers Show on The Ticket is sponsored by our friends at Mulberry Barbecue at 11th and Cornhusker, open Monday through Saturday from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. Ladies and gentlemen, try their burnt end sandwich, a brisket burrito, barbecue nachos, a full slab of delicious ribs, and half-smoked chicken, and much, much more. Plus incredible sides. Get fueled for lunch today or make dinner plans at Mulberry Barbecue by Single Barrel, located at 11th and Cornhusker. Ladies and gentlemen, that is at 11th and Cornhusker. All right. It is time for the first ever Carrikers Trivia Challenge. We've got a caller. All right, Jake, I don't even know what the rules are. I don't know how this is going to work. I will close my laptop so you can't accuse me of Googling. How does this thing work, my friend?
So if anybody's ever listened to Shut Up Sipple or Shootout with Strick, it'll be similar to that. We'll have 3 questions for you. There will be A or B. You don't have to sound like an idiot by, picking out of your head. So you'll either choose A or B.
Thank you for making sure I don't sound like an idiot. I appreciate that.
Yeah. And then we'll do the same with the caller. Well, actually, we'll start with the caller. Then we'll go to you. And if you guys have a tie, we have a tiebreaker if you guys have a tie score. So you each get 3 questions. If you get all 3 right, we'll go to a tie score. I'll ask you kind of an open-ended question. He'll give me a number. He'll go above or below that. And then we'll determine the winner from there.
I will say this. If it ends up being an ultimate tie, it's kind of like tie always goes to the runner in baseball, or tie always goes to the offense. If it ends up being an ultimate tie, the tie goes to the caller. I will make that one rule up if it ends up being the ultimate tie. Like, we can't keep going for eternity. Probably won't happen, but let's light this candle.
I want to get to the, so if you win, you're a man of the people, so you play for the people.
Yes.
If James wins, James wins. He takes home $20 to the Pillar Restaurant Group. You can go to Good Sense, Cactus, Piedmont Bistro. Of course, we enjoy ourselves some Good Sense on a Friday.
Absolutely. Got it right here.
Yeah, so good stuff there. But if you win, then caller number 3 can call in and get the victory. Get the
I
prize.
like it.
Yeah.
I like it. All right, here we go.
And of course, what's a game show without some game show music? So we had Rico find us some game show music here. But we will start with James. James, how are you doing?
Good.
Good. Let's see if how you know your trivia. Today's trivia.
Hold on one second. James, how's it going today, my friend?
I am awesome, man.
What are your thoughts on the Husker game tomorrow? What's your score prediction?
We're going to win by 3.
Ooh, I like it.
Dude, you are like the favorite caller we've ever had on my show, not just because you're the first, but because you predicted Nebraska to win. I like it. All right, go ahead, James.
So we're going to dive a little bit into the Ohio State's record books for this week's trivia. James, not all the pressure on you. We'll just have you pick one or the other. We'll start with Ohio State's most career receiving yards. Is it Michael Jenkins or Chris Carter?
Chris Carter.
It is actually Michael Jenkins. So no point awarded there. Ohio State's most single-season touchdowns from a receiver, Terry Glenn or Marvin Harrison Jr.?
Marvin Harrison Jr.
It is actually Terry Glenn. And how about career rushing yards for Ohio State? Is it Eddie George or Archie Griffin?
Eddie George.
It is actually Archie Griffin. So James, despite being bold enough to call in, he has 0 points into this round. He needs you to get every question
That's
wrong.
tough because that's 2 Heisman Trophy winners. And the only guy to win 2 Heisman trophies in history was Archie Griffin. Do I get like 3 points for that, right? There's knowing that right there?
No. You don't get extra points
Dang
for
it.
knowing that.
All right.
But you only need to get one right here, and then you win for the people. So caller number 3
All right,
call
here we
in
go.
and get a win. But we'll just play the whole thing out as well anyways. Ohio State's career receiving touchdowns leader, is it David Boston or Chris Olave?
I'm going to go Chris Olave.
You are correct, Chris Olave, and so that gives you a point. That gets you enough for the win. So here in a few seconds, we can get caller number 3, but we might as well play
Let's
this
finish.
out.
Let's finish.
Yeah.
I just have that image of David Boston and Charles Woodson throwing haymakers when they played back in, was it
Fantastic.
97? All right,
Yeah.
go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. Ohio State's single-season receiving yards record, is that Jackson Smith and Jigba or Santonio Holmes?
Jackson Smith and Jigba.
It is Jackson Smith and
wow.
Jigba, so you're 2 for 2.
I didn't know I knew so much about Ohio State football.
You're
Holy
doing pretty
cow.
good. Single-season rushing record, would it be Ezekiel Elliott or J.K. Dobbins?
J.K. Dobbins.
It is J.K. Dobbins.
Oh, that's the one.
Clean
Oh,
sweep.
man, I'm 3 for 3.
There
Hey,
you
James,
go.
thank you for calling in. I appreciate it, my man.
All right. Thanks, Adam.
Yeah, there you go.
Hey, and thank you for predicting Nebraska to win, too.
And I always did this too. James, if you're caller number 3, you can still win. So caller number 3 right now, 402-464-5685. On behalf of Adam Carriker, who plays for the people, can get $20 to Pillar Restaurant Groups, which includes, again, Venue, Piedmont Bistro, Cactus, or in Good Sense, Deli Fresh Subs.
All right. I didn't want to break the news, but I just wanted you to know that OhioStateBuckeyes.com just hired me. I mean, I just got the call. They sent over the offer, and they just hired me.
Yeah, that's quite impressive.
Hey, that's a fun segment. Inevitably, I'm going to lose, and somebody's going to kick my butt, and it'll go back and forth. But that's fun. I just enjoy having fun. And like you said, just doing things for the people, around the people. I like that segment. We'll keep it going forward.
We'll see how smart you really
Now,
are. Because
had we gone 0-3, that would have never come back, though.
Yeah, then we're done. But there is one final question.
Okay.
The tiebreaker was going to be, in 2021 against Nebraska, Jackson Smith and Jigba set the Ohio State record for receptions in a game. How many receptions did he have?
I just hate everything about that question because it's against Nebraska.
That's right. Well, that's what you should maybe remember. That's the game I got in for $10.
Where's the A and B on this? There's no A and B on this?
This is the open end. So you would give the answer, and then the opponent would say above or below whatever your answer.
All right, it's a single game receptions record.
Single game receptions record at Ohio State.
How many?
He ended up tying it later that year in the Rose Bowl, if you remember that.
The Penn State tight end, I forget his name. He just had 17.
Yeah.
That's got to be Penn State's record. It was funny because the announcers going into that USC game where he set the record made a joke that he might catch the ball 20 times and then it was 17. I digress. He actually played center, quarterback, tight end, tackle. I digress. I'm deflecting because I don't know the answer, but putting it off doesn't mean I still have to answer it at some point. You know, if it's the all-time record, I mean, they've had some absolute monsters there at wide receiver. I'm going to go with 15.
Oh, man. See, that's perfect. You should go.
Are you
What'd
serious?
say,
I got it?
Yeah, that's perfect.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
15's the record.
Dude, we are doing this every single day going forward. Wow. I honestly had no idea.
We'll see
I
if
had
you
a
know your
guesstimation,
UCLA
but
trivia pretty well next week, maybe.
I do not know UCLA that well. I'm just going to be upfront and honest.
Yeah.
I know Cade McNown, obviously Deshaun Foster,
Oh,
the
yeah.
player. After that, I'm like, let's talk let's talk UCLA basketball. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar,
There you
maybe.
go.
I don't know. All right, that was fun. Hey, do we have another caller? Like caller 3, you said?
No. That's off air.
Okay,
Somebody's already
that's
won.
off air. Someone's
Yeah.
getting a prize off air. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to start doing that segment each and every week going forward. CARRIKERS Trivia Challenge. I mean, I kind of like Fridays.
Yeah.
Maybe on Fridays, Thursdays. We'll figure it out. We'll hammer it out. We have a whole lot of fun here on the show. All right, how long we got before break? We're going to head to break.
Yeah.
And then I got a whole bunch of, hopefully you find them interesting. I'm just going to warn you, they're kind of random, not very well organized, but they are general college football stats. And we'll take a brief look at some of the college football playoff matchups and how it would look if it happened right now. All right, ladies and gentlemen, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Hi, this is State Senator Carolyn Bosson. Education is a cornerstone for strong, vibrant communities. I voted for the largest investment in education in Nebraska history. As a state senator, wife, and mom, I believe Nebraska is a great place to work and raise a family. My husband Reggie and I are local family business owners and understand the valuable role of education in growing our community. This is Carolyn Bosson, and I will continue to support education in the legislature. Vote Carolyn Bosson on November 5th. Paid for by Bosson for Legislature.
Perch Merch is your one-stop shop for all your printing and promotional needs in Lincoln, Nebraska. They specialize in screen printing, embroidery, vehicle wraps, window wraps, print collateral, promotional products, and signage. At Perch Merch, they are committed to delivering high-quality products and exceptional customer service. Their experienced team of designers and printing professionals will work with you every step of the way to ensure that your vision is realized. Call for a quote today at 402-217-5212 or go to perch-merch.com.
Is your phone system holding you back? We know how important smooth, reliable communication is for your success. Whether your team is working from the office or on the go, you need a phone system that keeps up with your busy day. At Hamilton, we offer business phone systems that adapt to your needs, making every call clear and every connection simple. Upgrade to a Hamilton business phone system where advanced features meet unmatched reliability. Are you ready to transform how you communicate? Better phones, better business. Hire Hamilton at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
It's the fall sports season, and that means that the school year is back in session and you're planning road trips for Nebraska football games and following your kids around to their different events. Stop telling yourself you'll upgrade your car someday and do it now. Mullen Motors lot is full of great vehicles to take home so you don't have to worry about your current car struggling through another season. Come check out their lot just north of 48th and Lake and find your next ride. As your fall schedule gets busy, you'll need a reliable way to get to your destinations. Mullen Motors.
No taglines, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
Ryan, with all this red and all these people around, I'm still not seeing the tailgate.
Todd Spidell, former body shop owner, terrible driver.
We're getting close. Now, did you know with 3 locations in Lincoln and hundreds of years of combined technician experience, we can get Husker fans back on the road even quicker and safer after their tailgate mishaps? Oh, Todd, turn left right here.
Left or right?
Left, right here.
Right?
Well, you wait for the tow truck. I'm getting a hot dog.
Well, I guess while I'm waiting. All right! Most recommended! Eustace Body Shop!
Woohoo! Dude, you should be on American Idol.
You really think so?
No.
Accidents happen, even to Husker fans. If it happens to you, call Eustace Body Shop, where our customers send their friends.
The most recommended Eustace Body Shop. That's who we are.
Hey guys, it's Nick. You know how much I love beer, and this game day, show your Husker pride with Dear Old Nebraska Brew, the official beer of the Nebraska Alumni Association. Brewed by Nebraska fans, for Nebraska fans, Dear Old Nebraska Brew is your go-to for every kickoff, touchdown, and celebration. Whether it's tailgating, watching the game at home, or gathering with friends, this beer is there to bring that perfect game day refreshment. Dear Old Nebraska Brew embodies the spirit of Nebraska with every sip. So crack one open and let the good times roll. Dear Old Nebraska Brew, the official beer of Nebraska alumni. Please drink responsibly.
Hey guys, it's your girl Jordan from Sartor Heyman Jewelers. Gentlemen, it's time to elevate your style with something from our men's jewelry and watch collection. Why not treat yourself to the ultimate in luxury? We've got an incredible selection of pre-owned Rolex watches, even those hard-to-find models you've been dreaming of. Whether you're stepping up your game day look or adding a touch of class to everyday wear, our top-tier collection is sure to impress. Stop by Sartor Heyman and discover the perfect piece to reflect your unique style. Until next time, happy shopping, guys.
The Lincoln Stars salute some of our country's bravest workers with First Responders Night, Friday, October 25th, when the Stars host the Tri-City Storm at 7:05 p.m. All policemen, firemen, and paramedics can get $5 tickets to that evening's game. Make sure to stop by our concession stand for a walking taco food special all game long. To get your discounted tickets, please email christian@lincolnstars.com.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, we'll see lots of sunshine with a light breeze out of the north and a high around 65. Tonight, clear skies and calm winds, below around 36. And tomorrow, we'll see increasing clouds throughout the day, with an afternoon high around 64. I'm meteorologist Kyle Fletcher from 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with a child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and we want to thank all of our customers for a great September. And now it's time for our annual Halloween sales event happening right now at Koppel. Get 0% financing at Koppel. You heard right, 0% financing on select new models. Also, huge discounts up to $11,500 are available. It's our annual Halloween sales event. Get $11,500 off or 0% financing at Koppel. So please stop on by or check us out online at koppelcars.com. You'll be glad you did. 0% with roof credit.
Tailored Life is your headquarters for all things fall in Bennett. Make the short drive down Highway 2 for tons of items for your home, both indoors and outdoors. Check out their variety of potted trees, mums, and more. Plus, porch pots and landscape lighting to enhance the outside of your home. Don't forget their home goods for indoors, plus convenient drinks and snacks, most of which are produced locally. Visit Tailored Life today in Bennett and stay tuned to their Facebook page at Tailored Life 360 for food truck events coming up.
Hi everyone, Kendall Warnock with A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. If you're looking for an automotive repair facility you can genuinely trust, we would be grateful for the opportunity to earn your business repairing your vehicle. We have ASE master technicians and qualified to work on a variety of vehicles from Hondas to Porsches, Jaguars to Toyotas, and Chevrolets to Fords. We pride ourselves on customer service and relationships, and we would be grateful for the opportunity to serve you. Give us a call at 402-477-4660. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
This is the Adam Carriker Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Boom! Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Adam Carriker Show here on 93.7 The Ticket. Check out all things The Ticket at theticketfm.com. Also, all things Carriker Chronicles at carrikerchronicles.com and on YouTube. Simply type in Carriker Chronicles. All right, this segment. Well, first of all, always want to interact with the people. Want to hear what the people have to say. We just did Carriker's Trivia Challenge. The last segment, starting on Monday of every show, will be dedicated to the people. We just bumped the people segment to segment 2. But any texts, calls, thoughts, or concerns from the people we should address real quick, Jake?
Oh, just some love there off the text line. You got to get to some love. 424-645-685 if you want to text in. The Sartor Heyman Jewelers text line. Colligan J says, anyway, we can get Adam on the air for another hour. Love listening to you.
Oh, man. Well, first of all, you're highly intelligent. I appreciate it. Shoot, I love doing this show. It flies by. I know Vershawn and T. Farley call their show the fastest 2 hours in radio. I feel like this 1 hour goes by so fast. So we'll see what can happen in the future, but I appreciate the love. In the meantime, let me know if there's anything else we need to address over there, good sir. But here's some random, interesting, at least I think they're interesting. Hopefully you do as well. Stats, college football stats that are going to kind of be all over the place, but here we go. Crazy stat number 1, Florida State is the only FBS school out of 133 teams that has not scored over 21 points this season. There is a world, okay, again, jumping all over a little bit, where Navy or Army, depending on who wins that game, first of all, they could play back-to-back weeks. They could play in the AAC championship, and then they could play in their annual game that they always have on the same, I believe it's the same day the Heisman Trophy is given out. So they could play back-to-back weeks, which is kind of, and they could already know who the conference champ is before that game as well, if those two play. But they could end up like 13-0, and there's a world where possibly 2 G5 teams could get in. If Army or Navy is the AAC champ, 13-0, and Boise State, who's only lost with the potential Heisman Trophy winner on their roster, Ashton Jeanty, their only loss is 3 points where they actually outgained Oregon in Eugene. Do you think, let's say Army beats Navy, wins the AAC, goes undefeated, 13-0, and Boise, 12-1. Is there a world, quick answer, Jake, where they could both get in, 2 G5 teams?
Mm-hmm. That's hard to believe. But no, I don't think so.
Which one would you put in? If one's undefeated, the other one's Boise with a loss. Let's say Oregon's number 1 in the country, Big Ten champs, beats Ohio State again. It's tough.
You know what? You're right. I think you got to put both of them in. Because I can't go back to the not putting an undefeated team in.
Yep.
When you had a 4-team playoff. You sure can't leave them out of a 12-team
How do you
playoff.
punish Boise, too?
Yeah.
Long way to go. Probably won't happen, but just interesting. All right, Syracuse's quarterback, former Ohio State quarterback, former Mr. Football in the state of Pennsylvania coming out of high school. I say all that to share some not so wonderful stats. Syracuse quarterback Kyle McCord had 3 interceptions and 2 pick sixes in the first quarter alone versus Pittsburgh last night. I should have said muff the children's ears before I relayed that stat, but I forgot to. But this is what it is. Just a reminder, I don't know why it's a reminder. I didn't know this to begin with, but that's what it says here. Reminder that Toledo Stadium, I have a picture here, features an actual rocket that is angled to land at Bowling Green's 50-yard line. Like, I've got the picture right here if you want to look at it, Jake. It's crazy.
I love college football. I did not know that.
That's phenomenal. All right, Dylan Gabriel originally committed to play at Army before his senior year of high school. He was under 6 foot, like 160 pounds. Obviously, he went to UCF, Oklahoma. Now he's the quarterback, the number 1 team in the country. But he originally committed to go to Army, and his dad actually played at Hawaii University and had over 5,600 yards passing and 47 touchdowns. All right. This one, look it up. It's true, because you're not going to believe it, because I didn't. Jim Harbaugh has more career rushing yards than Bo Jackson.
Whoa.
All right. Let me see. I think I'm running. I'm just going to let that sit there for us. Just think about that. All right. Let's see here. Clemson, not just 6-1. They've played one team or beaten one team all year with a winning record. Lost 34-3 to Georgia. Georgia looks not half bad. They've won their next 6 games. One team has a winning record, and that's Virginia at 4-3. So Clemson, with a record of 6-1, having beaten one team with a winning record all year, is still ranked ahead of undefeated Iowa State, undefeated BYU, and undefeated Indiana. And for some reason, Notre Dame's mentioned here, but Notre Dame lost to Northern Illinois. I just thought that was kind of interesting. I think that is the brand trumping where they probably should be ranked at the moment. They didn't just lose to Georgia. It was 34-3. It was 6-0 at halftime, but then it got real ugly real fast. All right, former Nebraska coach Frank Solich, who I saw for the first team at the Nebraska Greats Foundation event in Omaha about a week and a half ago. I saw him for the first time since 2001. So this is the man that recruited me, the man that I played for the first half of my career. Saw him, met his wife, saw him for the first time since 2001, 23 years. When he turned around and saw me, his eyes got huge. And I went over specifically to speak to him. He is going to be honored, this weekend, College Football Hall of Fame, the all-time winningest coach in MAC history. Did you know he's the all-time winningest coach in MAC history?
Only because I'm a prideful Frank Solich fan, but yeah.
I did not know that. That is phenomenal. All right, this one I about fell over. This is like Harbaugh having more rushing yards than Bo Jackson. Couldn't even think. All I could think of was Barry Sanders. I'm like, that's not right. All right. All right, Texas, Ohio State, Tennessee, they're all on this list for having the top stop rate defensively in the country. Number 12 in the country for the top stop rate defensively is Colorado. I did not see that one coming.
No.
All right, Westington High School. And I have a picture of the 11 players. I should have sent some of these to you. Westington High School trotted out only 11 total players on Friday night against Perry High School after everyone else on the team was suspended. It doesn't say what they were suspended for. And every Westington player obviously had to play both ways, offense, defense, special teams. They won 68-0. And I should have sent you these pictures. It's the 11 players right there. That's all. I counted them. I'm like, Is there 12? Are they lying? No, there's 11. All right. What do I got left here? There have been 520 FBS games played so far this season. The average score is 37-17. The most common winning amount of points scored is 38. The most common amount of points scored by the losing team is 14, which is somehow different than the average score. But anyways, most points scored in a win, South Alabama, 87. Most points scored in a loss, San Jose State, 52. And there have been 32 shutouts so far this season. All right, let's see what we got here. And then Texas and Georgia. Here are Georgia's first drives to start the game. Drive number 1, they started on Texas's 12-yard line, got a touchdown. Next drive started on Texas's 28-yard line, got a field goal. Next drive, they started with the ball on the Texas's 34-yard line, got a touchdown. Their fourth drive, the Georgia 45. What horrible starting field position, got a field goal. Then they started, back to normal, back on Texas's 30-yard line. My God, I almost feel sorry for Texas. I don't. Almost. And they got a field goal. And then their last drive was Georgia 11. God, what happened on that drive? That's ridiculous field position. I think I mentioned this earlier. Most people already know. But Texas was fined $250,000 for fans throwing trash on the field versus Georgia. I more or less just wanted to talk about Texas getting fined $250,000, although that's a drop in the bucket compared to what they make. Man, what was your favorite of all those stats, Jake? What was the hardest to believe?
I don't know if it was the stat. What was the teams that you said they've got a rocket pointed toward the Bowling Green?
Oh, it was
Toledo?
Toledo towards Bowling Green's 50-yard line.
That's my favorite one.
That's
Just
awesome.
college football at its best right there.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's awesome. And we're not going to get to the college football playoff matchups, but guess what? We got more time. I hope you enjoyed those stats and facts. Feel free to Google them. And if I'm wrong, let me know. But I'm pretty sure they're correct. I even looked up Bo and Harbaugh. That's the one I couldn't believe. All right, ladies and gentlemen, have a phenomenal weekend. I'm going to say it anyways. Go Big Red. And always remember to throw the ball.
Mulberry Barbecue by Single Barrel is the answer to all your lunch and dinner cravings. They have everything from smoked turkey sandwiches to brisket burritos to burnt-in sandwiches and pulled pork. Try a dinner plate option of barbecue nachos, a half-smoked chicken, a full slab of ribs, and so much more. Don't forget their great sides like mac and cheese, cheesy potatoes, barbecue beans, or red slaw. Mulberry Barbecue by Single Barrel, open Monday to Saturday from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. at 11th and Cornhusker Highway.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Skater Joe Villamonte with the Lincoln Police Union, asking you to vote for Carolyn Bosin for legislator. As a prosecutor, Carolyn Bosin has always supported law enforcement to keep our community safe. Carolyn Bosin has the experience we need. Carolyn Bosin is the only choice for legislator to keep our community safe. Join the law enforcement community in voting to keep our community safe. Vote Carolyn Bosin on November 5th.
Paid for by Bosin for Legislature.
With the Planet Fitness Black Card, you don't just get a great workout, you get a great perk out because your membership is packed with perks. For $1 down and $24.99 a month, you'll get perks like access to any of our 2,400 clean and spacious locations. Bring your friend anytime and both work out with tons of equipment that'll give you that big fitness energy. Relax in the Black Card spa and more. Workout